Boys and girls, it is Wednesday, April 15th. I'm here to read the story, The True Story of the Three Little Pigs by A. Wolf. I wonder what he is going to tell us, what happens in the story. So Monday, I had you read a story or listen to a story on YouTube called The Three Little Pigs. So today, we're going to read a story about the three little pigs, but it's from the wolf's point of view. So remember, the point of view is through that person's lens, through those person's eyes. So we're going to see how the wolf thought about what really happened. The true story of the three little pigs. Everybody knows the story of the three little pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you know one little secret. Nobody knows the real story, because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. Who's telling the story? Who's our narrator? Who's speaking? I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. I wonder what's going to happen. Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold, and I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house out of straw? So there he is. You see the house way out in the distance? So of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to walk into someone else's house, so I called, little pig, are you in? No answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on, and I huffed and I snuffed. And I sneezed a great sneeze. And you know what? That whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was our first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw, so I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there. I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar, so I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not so much. He built his house out of sticks. I rang the doorbell on the stick house. Nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? He yelled back, go away, wolf! You can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin. I had just grabbed the doorknob when another sneeze was coming. I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but achoo, a great sneeze. And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. When the desk cleared, there was a second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. Now, you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open, right? So I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as like a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little better, and I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have had the brains of the family because he built his house out of bricks. I knocked on the brick house, no answer. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? And do you know what? That rude little porker answered, Get out of here, Wolf. Don't bother me again. Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't give me even one little cup for my dear sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig! I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on again. I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed once again. Then the third little pig yelled, And your old granny can sit on a pin. You see the pig peeking through. Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fella, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course I was trying to break down this pig's door, and the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. You see the wolf? The rest, as they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the two pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy was going to borrow a cup of sugar. Didn't sound very exciting. So they jazzed up the story with all that huff and puff and stuff. And they blew the house down. That made me look like the real big bad wolf. That's it, the real story. I was framed. The end. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar. All right, so what do you think? Whose side are you on, the pigs or the wolves? We have to make a decision. So this week, our assignment is for you to compare the two stories. What is the same about them? What do they have in this story that's in the other story? And then what's different? What's something that happened in this story that did not happen in the other story? I want you to compare and contrast the two stories and think about how they're the same. How are they different? Okay? Have a great week, guys. See you later. Bye.